In this video, I'm going to help you prepare for your next Scrum Master interview, where I'm giving you tips and tricks on how you can approach your questions and be a standout candidate. The best part of this interview is that I will give you a model answer which you can use to approach your interview question. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. John Brim is my name, from Winki IT Consulting, where we train and mentor Scrum Masters. So if you are preparing for your interview, tomorrow, please, this is a video for you to watch. Continue or keep watching. So, in the video of today, we shall be answering a scenario based question. And this is a common question that comes up in an interview scenario, and the candidates tend to struggle with it. So, today we'll be approaching this question and seeing how we can answer it and become a standout candidate. So, I will just share my screen and we'll talk through the question. You can have a question like this: how do you deal with team members who are cherry picking tasks? So, definitely cherry picking. When does it happen? We have to explore. So, when you get this kind of question, the first thing you have to think of, okay, take a deep breath. Don't just rush into answering a question. Organize your thoughts before you step in to answer the question. These are some of the mistakes candidates make, and they struggle through. They think in the course of talking, which will not sell you well. So basically, any question you get in an interview, it is very okay to pause, think through before you start talking. So you have this question: how do you deal with team members who cherry pick tasks? So definitely this will happen after a sprint planning. The sprint backlog has been created, and then developers now will have to pick their tasks. There is always self-organization in the team, but you may observe a situation where particular team members pick particular tasks from sprint to sprint. And then you can begin to make an observation. Yes, they are avoiding certain tasks which are challenging, and this is a situation of cherry picking. Now, before going into the question, let's first of all try to understand what cherry picking is all about. That let's first of all look at what is expected of you from the interviewer. Oh, sorry, the interviewer asking this question wants to know a few things from you. First, do you understand the impact of cherry picking? Or first, do you understand what cherry picking is all about? Secondly, how do you deal with developers, or how do you go about this situation if you understand or if you observe that your team members are cherry picking tasks? Means that they are picking tasks which are very favorable for them or less challenging, or they are comfortable. Then another thing the interviewer expects from you is, can you talk him or her through a scenario where you helped, or where you dealt with this situation of a team member cherry picking tasks, and how best do you approach this situation or this scenario? You have to use the star method, the famous star method, which we shall explore in this video today. So, first, let us first of all understand what cherry picking is all about. Cherry picking, here we are talking about team members that are picking and choosing, selecting tasks which are easy, they are enjoyable for them to quickly finish or with little hassle. And so, one of the causes to this, you may understand that it can be as a result of poor understanding of the Scrum framework, which is all about, in this case, we are talking about self organization, we are talking about respect, openness, we are talking about courage. Most importantly, the value of courage here is being is not really observed by those team members. Those team members are not really courageous to take on challenging tasks, if you understand what the Scrum guy talks about. So, in this situation, when you observe that as a Scrum Master, how do you deal with such situations? Maybe the developers is doing that willingly, or they are doing that because they are not open to talk about their challenge or the reason why they are not picking up those challenging tasks. So that's the reason we are mentioning that the cause of this is as a result of non-understanding of the Scrum process, most especially the values, importantly, the value of courage and even openness to talk about those situations. So now, you have stated to the examiner what cherry picking is all about. That at that point, the examiner understands that yes, you understand what cherry picking happens, and this is what happens during the sprint. Then the next thing is you can also briefly talk about the effects of cherry picking in a team. When cherry picking happens in a team, definitely will have work imbalances. Workloads are imbalanced. Some team members will be overloaded with tasks because they are the ones involved in burning down those challenging tasks, and nobody or very few people or other team members don't want to contribute or pick them up. So with imbalanced workloads, you discover that those who are overloaded, they have a tendency of being burned down, burn out quickly. Then you also discover that there will be delivery delays as a result of the fact that those challenging tasks are not picked up, and which means they are not being burned down or worked upon by the team. So the quality of work will reduce because those who are overloaded, what happens? Because they are overloaded, they will not be in pressure, and they may not really go through their tasks as they are supposed actually to do. So that will actually affect the quality, because maybe they are the only ones in the team who can work on those tasks. Then they will need a peer review and so on, which will be absent in the team. So that affects quality. Also, another effect is conflicts may reduce, may result because of what? There is really no transparency. Those who are overloaded with those challenging tasks they don't understand transparently why the other team members who are cherry picking and going for the easier task are, they are not open enough, and as a result they may begin to feel disgruntled, and that's how conflicts will breed in a team. You need to briefly talk about this situation or the effects of cherry picking. That what are you doing at this point? You are laying it down to the interviewer to understand that you do not only understand what cherry picking is all about, you also understand what the effects are. But we need to understand how you deal with these situations in your team. That is the bone of contention in this question. As a Scrum Master, what I've always done is, first of all, to clarify the expectations to the team members. So, what is your expectation as a developer in the team? As a developer in the team, what is your role? So, it is important. I always try to clarify the expectation to every developer. We are expected to deliver on the sprint goal, and delivering on the sprint goal simply means that we are self-organized, we are courageous enough to pick on those challenging tasks, and it is important that you explain the expectation to your team members. Those who are cherry picking will now understand that they are living to a lesser extent up to the expectation of the team. And then that begins to bring them into the fold. The next thing I've always done has always been to monitor the progress. Like in the course of the sprint, I constantly monitor the progress of the sprint. How are tickets moving from to do to done? How fast are they? How many blockers are in the through the workflow? And then I quickly check with my developers to find out if they're having those challenges or that is actually slowing down the process. So I monitor the process during the sprint. So that is also what I try to do. And then I can quickly understand what the issue is, like I've mentioned. Most importantly, what I've always done is addressing the issue when I realize that a team member or particular team members are cherry picking. I have a conversation with them in a one-on-one situation where I approach them and I try to find out from them what is the issue that is prompting them to cherry pick or pick certain tasks. Then how do I go about this? I try to understand, is it a question of lack of will, or is it a lack of skill? Then both of us, we evaluate the situation. and then we have a clear understanding of what the real situation is. Understanding this situation, I definitely usually talk to my developer. Please, as you understand what the Scrum Guide says or Scrum values, one of the Scrum values is to be courageous, to be open, right? So in this situation, I talk to my developer, to the developer, please try to be open. If it is a question of skill, then it's important to be transparent to the whole team that you are not picking this task because you are lacking in skill, and the team now can see how they can support you in this process. So I just try to coach my developer to be open and to be more courageous, to speak up when there is an issue of limited skill. In order to deal with this cherry picking, also a motivational factor is also very important. So let's say a team member, I had this scenario where a team member who was cherry picking actually avoided cherry picking because he incorporated himself. He was open enough to talk about his lack of skill in that particular aspect to the team members and got support. And then with paired programming, he was really brought up to speed in those tasks. And in one of our sprints, he was really able to complete those challenging tasks which he picked up in the sprint. Then we had to celebrate his success. I engineered, like, we organized a small dinner evening where we just went out, had fun. And in the course of the fun, I just said, we really need to congratulate our team member who really did well, picked up these challenging tasks, and was able to complete them. We had also done that in a retrospective session where he was really happy, and in the dinner session in the front, we really could see how he was really happy that the whole team was proud of his achievement for that sprint. So these are just my experiences. You have your own experiences out there as you are listening to me. It is multifaceted. Everybody will have their own opinion as to how they can go about this. Please, I want to hear that in the comment section. How do you deal with these situations in your own team? By the way, if you are gaining value from this video, please don't forget to like, to share, to comment. Let's just engage, because this helps the channel with the YouTube algorithm. So that is my expectation. That is what I would really love for you to do to support the channel. Like, share, and comment. And don't forget to subscribe. This is the best part of the question. This is your selling point, where you will need now to use the STAR method to walk through the interviewer through a scenario where you actually dealt with it. You don't need to bring in many instances, but just one will be good enough to put you in contention, to actually help you become a standout candidate. Now you need to use the STAR method. Now, starting with the S, which is the situation. I always go as, in my previous roles as a Scrum Master, I worked with a team where I observed cherry picking in a couple of sprints. So what did I do? In one of my teams, they introduced this AAM technology where they were developing using this Adobe Explorer Manager, and some team members had not really used this technology before, because there were only 2 developers in my team who were experienced with AAM development, and the other 3 developers really did not get their hands dirty with this AAM development, though they had an idea. So all the tasks that were to be developed or worked on using this AAM platform was only worked on by 2 developers. So that was the situation. So I observed that there was avoidance by the other 3. And so, what was my task? Now you have to explain the task. Your task now is, as a Scrum Master, you observe that, and I had to investigate into why those developers are not picking up those tasks that involve AEM development technology. What was my action? Observing that they were cherry picking because they never had a good understanding of the AEM development. What did I do? To investigate, I took now action. The action was reaching out to the developers, having a conversation with them, and we actually just I asked them open-ended questions. What is yours? Why is the main reason why you are not picking up AEM tasks to work with on AEM? And the developer could explain to me clearly that he is not feeling confident enough because his skill set with AEM development are not up to par. And so that was an honest and open conversation we had. And in this situation, with these three developers, I could spot immediately that there was a lack of skill. And so the action I took was to immediately coach the three developers to be open and have such discussions with their peers that, okay, hey guys, I am my skills set or my skill level in with AAM are really low, and that's the reason I'm not picking up such tasks. It is important. What next I did was to talk openly within the team and also encourage those developers to talk transparently to the senior developer who was really skilled with the AAM platform to bring them up to speed. So, what were the result? The result was that the senior developers organized technical sessions where there was paired programming just to bring up to work alongside with the developers, those three developers who were not really skilled with the AEM development. And so, what happened was that in the subsequent sprints, they were able to start picking up AEM tasks. So, this greatly improved the team's performance. So what have I done here? I've simply tried to walk an interviewer through a scenario where I had with my team and how three developers in my team were really not skilled in AEM development. And then I helped them have a clear conversation, help them identify the issue, help them become more courageous, more uh, open to talk about it with their peers, and their peers were very also receptive and supportive to help them through uh, in paired programming sessions. And the result was our performance improved because they were able to pick up those tasks. So that is how I will approach the question. This may help someone out there. So guys, this was our video for today. And if you have gained a lot of value from this, please don't forget to subscribe. If you are interested in being mentored by Winki IT Consulting, please reach out. I will put the email or the phone number or the link to our website in the comment in the description below. So do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like and share. Also, if there is something I've left out in this video which you are listening to me and you feel that it could have been part of it, please put that in the comment section. Or if you have a question you want me to tackle, please put that in the comment section. I will be able to pick that up and we make a video on that. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.